Hello students, let us start with the fifth unit, that is mutual funds. Let us look into the concept and meaning of mutual funds. So here mutual fund is a trust that pools the savings of number of investors who share a common financial goals. That means here whoever are interested for the investment, these mutual companies will pool from them. That is, they take the amount of their saving and they invest it in a diversified portfolios. That is, they invest it in a different place so that the risk is reduced and the returns are reasonably high. So here they collect the money invested in the capital market instruments such as shares, debenture and other security. Then the income earned through these investments and the capital appreciation realized are shared by its unit holder in a proportion to the number of unit owned by them. So here in brief, a mutual fund concept is here pooling the investment, pooling the savings of the people or the investors here, then to put that in a different market so that they will get a return with a minimum risk. So this is how the mutual fund operate. This is a flow chart wherein investor who is putting in the money, and this is a pool the money into the fund house. Then here fund managers invest then in a security who share the final that is common financial goal. Then they generate the returns and that will be paid again back to the investors. Now let us look into the history of mutual funds. So the first phase of mutual funds was in the year from the year 1964 to 1987. Here that was priorly Unit Trust of India, which was established in the year 1963 by the Act of Parliament. Then the first scheme was launched in the year 1964 and it was ended in the 1988 with 6,700 crores of asset under the management. Then the second phase wherein there was an entry of public sectors, wherein the public sector funds were being introduced. That was a period from 1987 to 1993. So here SBI Mutual Fund was the first non-UTI mutual fund which was established. That is, SBI had its mutual funds, and which was followed by, that was in association with Canbank Mutual Funds, then Punjab National Bank Mutual Funds and Indian Bank Mutual Funds and Bank of India, Bank of Baroda Mutual Funds. So these years are being mentioned here wherein there was an entry, or with the combination of these the second phase of the mutual funds was established. Then coming to the third phase was from 1993 to 2003, wherein there was an entry of private sector funds. So here Kothari Pioneer, which was merged with the Franklin Templeton, which was a first private mutual sector, which was registered in the July 1993. Then till the end of this period there was 33 mutual funds with a total asset of 1,21,805 crores. Then next fourth phase, and now which we are in, that is since from February 2003. So here the following ripple of Unit Trust of India were into was taken. That is, one is specified undertaking of UTI with the asset under the management of 29,835 crores at the end of January 2003. Then now the second is here UTI Mutual Fund Limited, which was sponsored by SBI, then PNB, that is Punjab National Bank, then BOB and LIC. Now it is registered with the SEBI, that is Security Exchange Board of India, and they functions under the mutual fund regulations. So now it is under the regulatory body of SEBI. Then next, coming to the advantages of these mutual funds, here is there is a professional management. That is, here the investor will get to know where exactly their funds are to be invested. Okay, so here when we come to the professional management, the management of the funds is in proper and systematic way by analyzing the risk and return factors. Then he is here diversification, that is our funds, that is investor funds are put into those market wherein we have a reasonable return as well as the returns, and as well as a minimization of the risk. Then convenient administration, that is the administration is convenient, that is as per the when the investments are made, that is looking into the convenient of the investor, that is we first they will counsel with the investors, then what type of a return they want or what are their expectation, according to that services provided. Then return potential. So as the risk is diversified here, or as the investment is diversified, the return what we are expecting is like it is good returns. Suppose like if we invest only in the equities, or even like only in equities, there is a higher risk. So the returns what we expect here, like we may get good or we may not get good. But when we invest into some mutual funds, there is expectation that yes, we will receive some potential or good returns. Why? Because we have diversified our investment here, because of which risk has minimized. So from one or the other source we will be receiving some returns here. Then the cost involved is here less. Then liquidity, that is here quickly getting the amount or the receiving the liquid cash. So here as we have invested in the different sectors here, so we know that in which sector we can get a liquid money. So here we can even invest where there we can get a liquid, that is which is easily convertible into the cash. And there is a transparency. So here as there is counseling with the investors, right? So investors know here that where their funds are being put, so there is great transparency as well as a flexibility. Then there is a choice of the scheme, that is the investors are given the choice that where exactly they want to invest, or they are given with the choice with the returns. Then it is well regulated, as it is a recognized and it has a regulatory body to control over it. The system of mutual fund is regulated. And tax benefit. So if you are investing in a mutual fund, you have a tax benefit also, that is you will get a the amount which you are investing in the mutual funds are deducted from the when we are calculating the tax. Then coming to the structure of mutual fund, that is nothing but the parties who are involved in the mutual funds. One is here sponsorer, trustee, custodian, and AMC, that is asset management company. Then there is a unit holder. Unit holder is the one who is holding the shares. Then there is a SEBI, which is a regulatory authority. Then now let us look who is a sponsorer. Sponsorer is a one who will take the initiative to launch and set up the mutual funds. They can be the registered company or a scheduled bank or the financial companies. So here these are the one who take the initiative to set up the mutual funds. So here the sponsorer are the one who establish the mutual funds, and they register same mutual funds in the SEBI. So they are establisher, and those are one who registers. They appoint here trustee, they appoint the custodians and asset management company. So these are appointed by the sponsor, that is trustee, custodian and asset management company are appointed by the sponsors, and they go here for the SEBI approval according to its regulation. Then here the sponsors are not responsible, or they are not liable for any type of a loss or the shortfall resulting from the operation of the scheme beyond the initial contribution made by it towards the setting up of the mutual funds. That is, if there is any risk in the returns, so a sponsor is not responsible. They are only here their work is here only to set up and to appoint the further bodies who are involved in this mutual funds. Then a trustee. Then the trustee have fiduciary responsibility towards the unit, that is what you can say the monetary responsibility. These are usually company or the corporate bodies or the board of trustees. They check that asset management company invests are within the definite limit, that the funds asset are protected, and they ensure that unit holder get their due returns. they receive the fee for their services. So here these are responsible, these are the body corporates, or these are the company who ensures that the investment made are protected, or the asset of the unit, the asset of the investors are being protected here. Then coming to the next is asset management company. They are here appointed by the trustee as the investment managers. So here they are required to be approved by the Security Exchange Board of India. So they are being approved by SEBI to act as a AMC. Then they are the one who take the investment decisions. They one who take that where to put their investment. They are the one who calculate the returns. They are the one who calculate NAV. Then they are the one who provide the information about the schemes. For examples, SBI mutual funds are there, ICICI Prudentials are there, Kotak Mahindra, Kotak mutual funds. So these are the companies who are being appointed by the sponsors, and they are the one who guide the investors as in where to invest and what will be the return if you invest there, what will be the risk involved. So they are one who counsel them. Then is custodian. Custodian are the one who keep the asset in a safe custody. They are the one who settle the transaction, that is they are one who pays a amount which is credited to them, to the companies where they are investing. They are the one who keep the certificate with them. They are the one who collect the interest and dividends paid on the securities. They are the one who records the information about the corporate actions. They are the one who is going to return the money. So these act as a link between the company and these investors. So as you have NSDL in case of securities, that is equity shares, same here the custodians are for the mutual funds. So these are one who keep the securities with them. These are like a bank lockers, as how we keep the gold or bonds in a bank locker. In the same way our securities or our assets are being handled by your custodians. Then coming to the next part here is classification of the mutual funds. Classification of mutual funds are done on the basis of operational classification, return based classification, and investment. So your operational is the activity based classification, return based is how we want a return, that is on a regular basis or the lump sum basis, and depending on the investment. So let us look them in detail. So under operational classification we have a open-end scheme, close-end scheme, and interval scheme. So your open-end scheme says that when the fund is accepted and liquidated on a continuous basis, that is where the funds meet a quick liquidation, where the funds are quickly converted into the liquid cash by the mutual fund manager, such schemes are called here as a open-end scheme, wherein the fund are buy and sell unit constantly, that is here buying and selling of the funds are on the continuous basis, wherein they are quickly liquidated. Wherein opposite of that close-end scheme, where there are not liquidated immediately, those are only liquidated after the expiry of the specific time period. Such funds have a fixed capitalization and remain with the mutual fund managers. So these are usually traded on the stock exchange in the secondary markets. So here when it comes to the open-ended scheme, those are quickly liquidated, and close-end, those are liquidated after the expiry of certain period of time. Then interval scheme, it is a kind of the close-ended scheme with the feature that remains open during the particular part of the year for the benefit of the investors to either offload or to take a purchase units of NAV. So here these are with the features of the close-ended, wherein they can trade only during the certain period of the time. Then on the return basis, that is how we want the return. First is income. So what is income here? Income is which we receive on the regular basis. So the investor who want their return on the continuous basis as a part of the income, then they can select for this option. So this is like a customized which will suit the investor, how the investor needs a return. written, that basis it is customized, and the income that is he gets it as a part of an income. Then growth here is growth in a mutual funds are the one who which offers the capital appreciation, that is the amount will go on accumulating, and that will add on to the principal amount what is been invested here. So here it has got a long run appreciation, so your funds are appreciated in the long run here. Then conservative fund scheme, it is a scheme which aims at providing reasonable rate of return, protecting the value of investment, and achieving the capital appreciation. That is, it provides the combination of these both, that is income and growth scheme, wherein you have a capital appreciation as well as a regular returns. Then on the basis of the investment based classification, equity funds, that is such funds in equity shares, they carry the high degree of a risk. Such funds will do well in favorable market condition. That is nothing but investment in equity shares, that is equity funds. Then next, coming to the next type of fund, that is balanced fund, wherein these are the combination of equity funds as well as a debt funds. Then next is sectoral fund. Such fund invest in specific sectors of the economy. That is, there are various sectors of the economy wherein the investment is done in the particular projects only, and returns are expected from that particular projects. Then next is gilt fund. These funds will seek to generate the return through the investment in government securities. Such fund invest only in the central and state government securities. That is, investing in a government security such as a treasury bills, commercial papers are the funds which we call it as a gilt fund. Then next, tax saving schemes are one wherein if you invest in mutual fund schemes, those are available for the deductions from the income for the income tax. So yes, under section 88 of income tax has a provision for the deductions if we are investing in a mutual funds. So in such schemes also the investor can invest. Then coming to the next part here is net asset value. So here net asset value, it represents the funds per share market value, that is funds per, that is here the market price of the share. So here price at which the investor buys, it is called as an bid price. Then from the, that is here price at which the investor buys fund shares from the fund company and sell them to the fund company, that is here the purchasing price is called bid price and the selling price is called as in redemption price. So the end that is net asset value NAV computation is undertaken once at the end of each trading day, that is when the market closes, they look into the highest price, that is at what price it is a bid price and the redemption price, and then it is calculated. Then it is for the portfolio of the security, wherein the formula is market value of the fund's investment plus what are receivable, what is the accrued income, minus liabilities plus accrued expenses divided by number of units outstanding. So this is how we calculate the net asset value. So with this part we end with this topic of mutual funds.